Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Christian and the Atheist podcast. Today's episode is a bonus. It is a tour of All Souls with Reverend Marlon. So if you are listening to this but you can't see us, feel free to jump over to Spotify or YouTube and watch the episode. We hope you enjoy this. When we recorded this episode, the Humanist Hour, which is called The Point, was put in the Emerson Hall, which is something you'll see shortly. That has now been changed. The Humanist Hour is now in the sanctuary, and Emerson Hall is a fellowship area. So when church is over, everyone can head over to Emerson Hall and have a good time. I wanted to make that clear because you're going to see it be really choppy during that part. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. And thank you again to All Souls staff and Reverend Marlon for doing this. This was fun for us. So here's the church.
Hey, welcome.
This is what you would see when you walk in. It's pretty cool. And then we'll just walk in.
Come on in.
And so, want to walk us through?
Yeah, just come on through. And it's a little foyer. Sometimes on Sunday there be people in here greeting and welcoming people and have you sign in, that kind of thing.
This is where kids stuff is that I remember.
There you go.
That's where I'm sorry.
I don't want to do this way. So, and then this is the more of the main foyer where people are sitting to answer questions and direct people where do you want to go and all that kind of thing.
So there's people that walk around with their name tags. Like, what's that? Is every member have that?
So if you're a member, you do get a name tag, and
That's hilarious.
So
I'm sorry.
I know it's a way for people to get to know each other.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and then visitors, if they come and they do check in, we give them a name tag. Right, and then that way we know who they are, so we can say, hey, are you here for the first time? And
so members come in, they get their name tags.
no, the members take
They
their
just
name
have
tags
them.
and they just have them.
That's good. I would too.
I know exactly. Some people do that for sure.
That's so funny.
I love it though because
Yes.
I can't remember it.
No, it has to help you guys a lot. All right, so from here.
So from here, I mean, I think that one of the coolest things is this painting right here, which I love to get a chance to explain this to people because in about 5 minutes I can give people a complete what this church is in a nutshell. So all these things represent something symbolically. So the table comes from early American pre-Revolutionary War era antique, and that's when this church formed here in America. The folks came over from Europe during the time before the Revolution, and so that just kind of puts it in historical context here in America. The Bible is the first book on the table, which is our foundation, and we've been a Christian church, biblical church for centuries, but then this is a work by Ralph Waldo Emerson. He came along, he was a Unitarian minister, his father was, but he and the Transcendentalists sort of changed our church to become a church that looked beyond the Bible and found wisdom in Eastern religions and all kinds of other faiths and in nature. The third book is blank because it's just a journal. It's that idea that revelation is continuous. Truth continues to be spoken in every generation and in every culture. And it's not something that was written down once and for all in one language for all people at all times and needs to be spread everywhere, but it just continues to emerge. So that's it. This is a ballot box because we're a democratic church. So it just represents, we vote on our budgets, we vote on our ministers. We don't have a pope or all kinds of people telling us, hierarchy telling us what to do. The people run the church. These two symbols are both hearts and they represent love. There's two of them. It's the only one that has two symbols because love is the spirit of this church. That's the central concept here. The Statue of Liberty represents freedom, freedom of belief, freedom to ask questions, freedom to choose your belief and your path. The scale represents justice. We're a church that believes you should put your values into action to create justice in the world. We're not just a church that walls itself away. We're active in the community and social justice. All of the flowers, they represent the members of the church, all diverse, everyone unique, everyone diverse, everyone beautiful in their own way, but coming together to create a greater whole. The water represents God or the interconnected web of all life. I love that it's clear because it's water. Because we need water to have life. It's no color. Yeah. It's within all of us and that kind of thing. So the vase represents the church, the building. It's clear glass. Like in our church, we have clear glass in the sanctuary because even when we're sitting in church for an hour on Sunday, we're looking out at the world to remind us that our religion is really out there. We come in here to be inspired, but our religion is how we live our lives. And so the church is the place where we come together, all of us, out of our diversity, to be nourished by one another and by the source of all life. Let's see. And then we have this vase, which comes from a European village in the Carpathian Mountains where Unitarianism began back in 1568 during the Protestant Reformation. A lot of people don't know that we're part of the whole Protestant church and Reformation and all that is where we began. The individual flower represents the individual person. Everybody comes into the church as an individual on their own spiritual path, and we try to help them figure out where are you on your journey and how can we help you to move forward. And there's always the individual and the community, and those two are really important together. And lastly, we just have the oak leaf, which is that mighty cloud of witnesses I talked about earlier. It's all the people who come before us, whose shoulders we stand on, who left us this free religious faith. And then this leaf represents life. And the artist made it falling in the picture to represent the fact that life is fleeting, it's short, to hopefully remind us that with our short life, hopefully we'll use it to bring more love and freedom and justice and unity within diversity into the world. Wow. So that's, in a nutshell, that's what All Souls is about.
Beautiful. Wow. I love it. Yeah. Did you had that commissioned, right?
Yeah, we had a commission back in 2004.
Say, hey, do this, or did the artist, y'all work together on it?
Yeah, I talked about the different symbols, and then the artist went and he found this from a collector here in town.
Wow.
And then he asked me for some books, and we just kind of put it all together.
That's so special. Cool. I love that.
Yeah, it's Pat Gordon, P.S. Gordon, the artist, the local Tulsa artist.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, we can go into the sanctuary if you would like.
Yeah, check out this is the traditional sanctuary. It's been around since this church was built. It's got, you can see the pews, very traditional looking, very New England looking.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but yes.
But also very simple, right? We want it to be a house of prayer for all people, so to speak, so that nobody comes in and sees a religious symbol and goes, oh, that's not my religion, or so it's like you bring your faith, you bring your beliefs here, and we hope that there's a place where that can flourish and that can grow and change. So, like I said, if you come in here on a Sunday morning, you plug your ears and you don't hear what we're saying, it looks like any other sort of mainline Christian church. But if you open your ears and listen to what we're saying, it can sound quite different.
Will you show us the chalice and then talk about the importance of that?
Yeah. So the flaming chalice, it became a symbol of the Unitarian churches in the United States. So I'll light the little candle here. On Sundays, we light this, usually a family or a child or somebody lights this, and we say some inspiring words. But the symbol is a combination, originally, this is sort of an abstract version, but is a combination of a cup and a flame. And the cup is a symbol of community, like communion, and the cup in the Jews who share a cup on Shabbat, and then the flame represents freedom. So we're trying to be a community where there's freedom of belief and freedom to live your life in a way that makes most sense to you. And so it's community and freedom, and that's the flaming chalice, which is the symbol of Unitarian Universalism internationally.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, can't take the light out. Okay, and then these are for...
So these, on Sunday morning, during our service, we invite people to share joy or concern in their life. So there might be somebody who you're wanting to say a prayer for or something like that. We have an online, we have people from all over the world who watch online, and they'll text in some prayers. So we'll light a certain number of candles and name certain things as part of our prayer life. And then we invite the congregation as a whole to call out names of folks that they want to bring in to the service.
It's really neat.
Yeah.
Like coming from somewhere where we don't do that at all. Like that is your life group. That's something you create on your own. Like you have a prayer request, you can put it in on a piece of paper or online. But this is like as a community, you can say something. And then y'all say it's another thing that I like, that if you lost somebody, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so this was something that was inspired by the Jewish tradition. When people in Judaism, when somebody dies, they have this prayer that they do for a year after they died. And then when the year's up, then they stop saying that prayer. So they've done, their mourning period is over. And so we, inspired by that, we started to do that where in the first year after someone died, we invite people to stand in the service, like after the candles and before the spoken prayer. And so it's just a short time, but we stand in memory and mourning for those who have died. And I just have found it so powerful because like that first Sunday that you sit down and you don't stand, you really feel like, wow, okay, it's been a year. And that mourning period, you know, I've been through that. And it just really helps you mark time kind of spiritually and ritually. And I think, and then it also helps, we all get to see like who's grieving right now, who is in the midst of that. And then we also invite people at that time who, if this is the Sunday that's close to the anniversary of the death, so if it's the anniversary week of your mother's death or your grandmother's, you know, you can stand in mourning and memory of them to honor them. So it just gives us a ritual space to honor those griefs, which is such a...
I appreciate that so much, like, honestly, because that's a big deal. And then for others to see what it is. But
and actually, we started this candle lighting part of it, we started during COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Because people were online. Almost everybody was online for a certain point, and it was a way that we could interact and still feel like we were praying together and holding each other, even though we were spread out all over. And then we've just kept it.
That's cool. I appreciate it. Very cool. And then there's an old-fashioned piano.
Yes. And then we got this one,
which is very cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
I haven't heard drums yet.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, I know, this summer. You've been coming during the summer. You just wait. You're going to be so surprised.
Well, it was funny. We came, you don't follow me on social media, so I post about it every Sunday. I come and I'll take pictures. I don't know if you see me taking pictures. So the time y'all had the organ player, I videoed Frank and I sitting in the pew, and it was just he and I because I didn't want to put anyone in that didn't want to be in it. And then all these are cleared out, and so then I panned it over to this, and you could see how traditional it looked. And then it's playing the organ, and I was like, look, it's the Addams Family Church. It was so funny. Frank was like, this is so weird for me. He didn't grow up in church at all. So I'm like, I know like the hymns and stuff. I mean, I didn't really grow up in hymns, but I know how to do it. And all that, and he's literally like, what is happening? I'm like, I know it's different.
So we have 7 different choirs of all ages, from religious kids, all youth choir, all the way up. So we don't see, in the summer they're all taking the break, so you don't see any of that.
No.
And then we have bands come in.
That's so funny to me.
I mean,
well, last week,
Brand J. Jackson, there's all these great bands and singers and Jared Tyler and all these amazing musicians. And so we invite them in.
Wow.
And they'll play music for us and inspire us.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard, there was a really cool song that came from the Barbie movie.
Yeah. Well, cool. So this is the sanctuary.
Sanctuary, very traditional in that sense.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing it's great for, brides love it because,
yes,
you know, it's like
very,
to do a wedding, you got the center aisle.
And the big window and the light.
It feels like definitely like a good scene for a wedding.
Right? So it's great for weddings and memorials and all that kind of, you know.
Right, for sure. Yeah.
It's a nice, feels like a safe space. We focus on the person's life. Where it's not
which
like
is
an
great.
Infomercial for Jesus or anything
like
that.
You'll show up.
I can come.
You're like, I'm going to skip her funeral because they're going to preach.
But that's one of those things is that people, all those life passages, weddings, memorials, babies being born, you know, it's nice to mark them with some kind of ritual. And some people have the creativity to do that themselves with their family and friends, but for a lot of people, it's just nice to have a community to do that.
For sure.
To go through those stages. We have the American flag on the other side, so that kind of,
we're American too. Look how cool. Yeah, and it's the Tulsa one, which I love, but So, lots of green flags. Get it? You're our tour guide.
All right, come on through here. We're going to do it today. So we cross the hall on Sunday. Lots of people greeting each other, loving on each other, and happy to see each other, all different ages. This is the fellowship hall, but it's up in this space so that people can, they can have coffee in here, and there's refreshments out there, and it's just kids can kind of come in and out. It's just a lot more informal. Cool. It's fun. It's intimate. I love it. It's kind of an intimate space in here. It's usually,
I agree.
Anywhere from 150 to 200 people, and it just feels really warm, and the music's great.
Cool. All right. Well, that was that. Cool.
All right.
Well, thank you again.
You're welcome. Thank you all. It's been great.
All right.
Fun.